They lower the goal, so failure feels less painful. They call it being practical. Napoleon Hill called it self-betrayal. Open quote. The man who limits himself because he fears failure has already failed in thought, long before he fails in action. Close quote. This is why two people with identical abilities produce radically different results. One questions limits, the other obeys them. One treats circumstances as variables, the other treats them as verdicts. The law of mental acceptance. Hill taught that the mind operates by a simple, unforgiving law. Open quote. Whatever you accept as final, the mind treats as final. Close quote. If you accept low expectations, the mind delivers low outcomes. Fixed identity, the mind resists growth. External control, the mind abandons initiative. The mind does not argue, it complies. This is why people remain stuck for decades without realizing it. They are not trapped by reality. They are trapped by agreements they never consciously signed. Breaking limits begins with a dangerous question. Napoleon Hill insisted that transformation begins with a single act of courage, questioning what you have always assumed to be true about yourself. Ask, who told me this was my limit? What evidence proves this belief is permanent? What if this limit is simply untested potential? Most people never ask these questions, not because they lack intelligence, but because questioning limits threatens identity. And identity, once formed, fiercely defends itself. Hill understood this resistance. He warned that the mind will fight growth before it supports it. But he also made a promise. Open quote. The moment a man refuses to accept a limitation, his mind begins searching for ways around it. Close quote. That moment is the beginning of power. From acceptance to expansion, Napoleon Hill did not encourage blind optimism. He encouraged deliberate mental expansion. Limits collapse not when you deny reality, but when you stop mistaking current conditions for permanent truth. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to reject the belief that the path is closed. Because once the mind accepts that expansion is possible, it begins reorganizing behavior, perception, and effort automatically. This is not motivation. This is mental engineering. The first victory is invisible. Hill emphasized that the most important victories are invisible. No applause, no recognition, no external proof. Just a silent internal decision. Open quote. I will no longer live inside conclusions that shrink my potential.